Welcome to the biggest online chess event. This is the Magnus Carlsen Invitational, with a prize fund of $250,000. Winner of this event gets $75,000. The matchup that we will be looking at in this video will be between Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura. Firstly, a quick player introduction. Magnus Carlsen, he is 29 years old from Norway, world number 1 with a rating of 2863. He became world champion in 2013, retaining his title every 2 years since. In 2015, 17 and 19, he beat Anand in 2013 and 15, Karyakin in 2017 and Caruana in 2019. Nakamura, he's 32 years old from USA, world number 18 with a rating of 2736. But he is world number 4 in rapid chess, with a rating of 2829. He's known for being a very fast player. He's world number 1 in blitz chess at 2900, whereas Carlsen is world number 2 at 2887. This matchup is so exciting because every game was decisive. Either Carlsen won or Nakamura won. Here I've decided to go with game 2. So let's begin. Nakamura has white, Carlsen has black. Notice in the first game, Carlsen won with white, so it's time for Nakamura to come back. He opens with e4. Carlsen plays e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. We have a Spanish. a6, bishop a4. Knight f6, castle, but which variation does Magnus go for? b5, bishop back to b3, and bishop c5, the Archangel variation. Russian Grandmaster Peter Svidler did a video series on this opening on Chess24. Go check it out. a4, attacking the pawn chain, rook b8, defending. Now white goes for a very sharp line. He is down a point in this match, so time to mix it up with knight takes e5. Knight takes and d4, getting the piece back straight away and already creating an imbalance. Take, d6. White has the bishop here, but black has a strong knight on e5 and a chance to gain further space in the center with c5. f4 and knight c6. This decision surprised me. Carlsen could have played c5 to attack the queen, but c5 is such a sharp line. Perhaps he's fearing Hikaru's preparation. After all, Hikaru must go for a win. He is down a point, and an opening like this is perfect. It's really sharp here because depending on where the queen goes, there's so many options. Knight c6, a clever decision by Carlsen to avoid very, very sharp lines. After all, he is leading by a point in this match. Queen c3, knight e7. Queen on c3 attacks knight on c6, so Carlsen decides to move it. Taking on b5, take, and e5. By move 14, I will be happy with my position. I'm playing with the correct mindset. I'm going forward with my pieces and I'm trying to win. So far so good from Nakamura. Knight e4, queen f3, knight c5. Attacking the bishop on b3, let's drop it back. And white has a lot of potential in this position. This bishop still eyes f7. Knight can go to c3, f5, gaining space on the king side. Castle, bishop e3, bishop b7. Let's put the queen facing the king. Let's put it on h3 and knight e4. So knight comes back right into the center. And here Hikaru makes a big decision with knight c3. He's deciding the knight on e4 is so strong, he decides to get rid of it, even if it means giving himself doubled pawns. Take, and bishop d5 was the game. However, I want to look at this option. Instead of knight c3, let's go f5, because Hikaru is going for this pawn sacrifice, going for a kingside attack. D takes e5 and now knight c3. So what's the argument? If you take now and take, f6 is still coming. But if you go bishop d5, play f6, take rook d1, and there's some coordination problems for black. If you defend your bishop, rook takes f6, knight g6, and this is the key idea I wanted to share. Rook takes c6, and you can't take back because your queen is hanging. So that's a really cool variation. Back to the game, knight c3 played, take, bishop d5. So what's the difference between this and the previous line? The d file is not open. f5 played, same idea, take, and d takes e5. What's the point of white playing f5? He wants to go f6 next, so f6 here by black is possible, but after e6, we have a protected pass pawn. In this type of middle game, white will be much better. So Carlsen decided to take on e5, f6, g takes f6, exposing the king. Bishop h6 coming in. Now one option was actually to play knight d5, which looks very dangerous because you take on g7, but rook e8 and then black can keep playing. Because the funny thing is, imagine if that was a black pawn. Then black would be very safe behind his own king. But I wonder, does it even matter if this pawn is black? No, because a pawn this far advanced is actually acting as a shield to black's king. Back to the game, f6 played, take, bishop h6, rook e8, and an amazing move here, rook a6. One idea was to use the current rook on f1 to take on f6, but Nakamura is using the rook on a2. At the moment it's doing nothing, so he brings it in, attacking f6. An amazing move. If this rook takes on f6, then there'll be a lot of pressure on the f-file. Rook b6 played by Carlsen, a huge decision to double your own pawns, because after take, black has doubled b and f pawns. Another option was actually to block with c6. But this was Nakamura's idea, a really cool idea. Let's use the fact that this bishop is covering the dark squares around the black king. So let's bring the queen in. Queen g4 check. You have to block. You can't move because queen g7 will be checkmate. Queen g4 check, knight g6, and rook takes c6. This is the point, because black has to block with the knight. The knight no longer defends the c6 square. Back to the game, rook b6 played, take, double pawns, queen g3 check, knight g6 is forced. Exactly the same as before. If you go king in the corner, then queen g7 is mate. Knight g6 forced, h4. The king and knight are on the same line, so h5 means white is threatening to win the knight. f5, counterattack, because after h5, f4 is the point. White now has a really good move. Pause the video if you want to have a go. What does white play now? I'll give you 5 seconds. White could play queen g4 just to maintain the pin, but an amazing combination with h takes g6. Black now took back with the pawn. First question, why not taking the queen on g3? Because this pawn is still alive. Let's take on f7 with check. The king has to go in the corner. We take, promoting, take, and then we get the queen. Take, and then all these pawns are in trouble. White will just come back with the bishop to pick all the pawns up. Back to the game, h takes g6, you take back, queen g4. Queen c8, a mistake from Carlsen. Better was queen e7, so then keeping control of the f6 square. Also controlling h4 so the queen doesn't swing over. Then white has to try something else, perhaps rook to b1. Queen c8 played, queen h4. Look at all the dark squares around the black king. White is coming in. Queen c5 check, king h2, queen d6. Controlling f6, but now white uses the other piece to control f6 as well with bishop g5. Coming into f6, giving the white queen room to checkmate on h8. This is a nice way to control all the dark squares around the black king. f5 played, giving the king room. Rook f3, swinging the rook over. e4, rook h3, f3 check, and not moving the king back, but blocking the check with bishop f4, and black is in big trouble. Carlsen moves the queen to d7. Pause the video to have a go. Can you find checkmate in a few moves? I'll give you 5 seconds. First move, queen right into the position, queen h8 check, king f7. Next move, rook right into the position, rook h7 check, king e6, and now checkmate in 1. The king is stranded on e6, so let's just bring it back. Queen e5, checkmate. Check out one video here and another video over here. If you enjoyed the show, why not like it and subscribe to the channel at the same time? If you really enjoyed the show, consider a small donation. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.